Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our February 8th, 2021 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including a new trailer coming up for Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're going to be talking about all the TV spots and trailer for Superman and Lois, and comic books, and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to ask you for your input on any Superman topic you would like to discuss, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
What's already tickled your fancy so far?
So, for the folks watching, Steve shares the screen with me, which is nice because before it was a little more confusing. And he sometimes leaves the cursor up over my face, and I think there's something on my screen, so I'm scratching at it, and then I realize it's the cursor on Steve's screen. So, anyways, no, outside of that, everything's fine. It's cold.
Oh, really?
I am freezing right now. Man, ever since I dropped like that 20 pounds, I have like no, like I'm freezing all the time in the winter now, which is weird for me. But anyways, no one wants to hear about my weight loss. No one wants to hear about the cursor on the screen, which makes me think I got this black thing on my screen. We are here to talk about Superman because WGBS Live is all about the Man of Steel. And because of that, we want to hear from the Superman fans that are watching us live right now on YouTube. So, if we don't have a whole lot to talk about, which this week might be the situation, and we can start taking calls in the middle of the show, that's what we're going to do. And this is how we do it. You're going to need Skype. Go on to Skype, find Superman homepage, and message us that you'd like to be on the show. Now, a couple of things, and these are important. One, message us. Please don't just call because that screws everything up. And two, if you're using an external speaker to watch WGBS Live right here on YouTube, please turn that down before we actually talk to you because we're on a bit of a delay and that could kind of screw things up.
Yes, indeed. And for those who are tuning in live via YouTube to watch tonight's show, we invite you to join in and chat with fellow fans, post your comments and ask questions. Michael and I will keep an eye on those comments and questions throughout the show, so get involved. And if you want your comment featured live on screen during the show, feel free to post a super chat. All you have to do is click on the dollar sign there on the chat screen. A slider will appear. You decide on a dollar amount that you want to donate, and we will feature your comment or question on the screen live to air. And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you'd like your name or business featured as a sponsor of this show, simply click the join button below. Well, Mike, it's been another week filled with Superman news to report on, and things are ramping up for the upcoming Superman and Lois TV series, as they are for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Before we get into any of that, the background behind me is another fan art featured on the show this week. It is by artist Caesar Ian Muella, and his content can be found, if I grab the information for you, can be found at this address right here on your screen, deviantart.com with Yakuza. So that is his address if you want to check out more of his fantastic artwork, and that is the screen behind me this week. So check that out. All right, as I said, we like to start with movie news, and Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming up very soon on HBO Max. We now know that a new trailer is going to be released, get this, at 9:14 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Valentine's Day, Sunday, February 14th.
At 9:14.
Yeah, 9:14 precisely. I don't know why 9:14. Maybe because it's Valentine's Day the 14th.
I'm shocked that this thing keeps getting trailers. I mean, we've had like 50 by now.
And to promote the fact that a trailer is coming on that day that he announced it, which was Super Bowl Sunday, Zack Snyder posted this little teaser. Now I can't find it. Where is it? I'll find it. But he posted a little teaser featuring what's his name? He's Cyborg. Victor
Fisher?
Stone. Victor Stone. Yeah, Ray Fisher.
Oh.
Playing obviously NFL before the accident that stopped him from being a normal human being. Here it is. That was it.
Wow. No one will be seated during the football sequence. I get it. You're showing a football thing on Super Bowl Sunday, and you're promoting the big movie that's coming to streaming. That's awesome. I just don't understand why we keep having trailers to this thing. We had the one during Fandome. We had another one after that, which was like the one at Fandome except different. And I don't know what else. I mean, like, you're getting your movie, dude. Everyone knows it's coming. Believe me. I'm looking on Twitter every day. People are not shutting up about this thing. So, it's... and boy, are people salty in the UK over it not getting over there. Wow.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Seen a lot of comments. Some people getting really nasty online.
Well, that's not shocking, but no, I mean it's interesting. I did think it was kind of funny that they did like the motion, and then the slow motion thing, which was kind of Snyder's action move for a while there. So it's nice to see that making a comeback.
Now,
so
I don't know much about NFL, but didn't the ball hit the corner post first before it crossed the line? Is that technically a touchdown?
Man, if it hit the corner post, that might have been offsides, and it might not have been a touchdown. I know fairly little about football. I've got like kind of a basic rudimentary knowledge of it, but I know that thing has to be in play in the field for the thing to count as a touchdown. So, but then again, you can try to kick a field goal. Which is if you get to the fourth down and you know you're not going to make the touchdown because there's first, second, third, and fourth down. You can either punt, which gives it back to the other side, and then you try to get it back from them. Or if you're close enough, you can kick a field goal, which gives you a point. Or you can grab the ball, and then try to get a field goal then, but that's called a safety, and that's 2 points.
Okay.
American football is...
It's a touchdown according to Tina.
Yeah, well...
Thanks for clearing that up.
But anyways, no, I did not watch the game last night because I just had no desire to, in all honesty. I was supposed to record with Jeff, but his internet died. So no. I'm glad it wasn't my fault this time.
Talking about internet dying, I'm happy to announce that the website is now on a new server, an updated server. It's been like 11 years since, and so you may have noticed that it's not going down anymore. It was going down frequently for a few minutes every day, but thankfully that has now, with the new server, stopped happening, and things should be a little bit faster. So hopefully that's all well and good. All right.
So as a rugby fan, though, do the pads throw you off? Like, are you confused why footballers wear pads?
Oh, no, I understand why they wear pads. Obviously, we have some padding. We just don't wear helmets or these big bulky things. It's all they wear some chest plates and things like that for some protection of their sternum and things like that. But not to the degree that you guys do, because we play a real man sport.
That's what I was waiting for.
I knew it. All right, pushing on. DC to promote the upcoming release of Zack Snyder's version of Justice League on HBO Max, which, by the way, as you know, is a 4-hour movie that will be rated R. They are releasing or have released a Justice League t-shirt range, and this is the Black Suit Superman t-shirt, which you couldn't tell if it's black suit or not because it's all black and white anyway. So what's the point of calling it a black suit Superman shirt when it's all grey tones and grayscale anyway? So yeah, but it's available on the DC online store for $25 if you like it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of picking it up because I got the $10 thing from because I continued from the DC Universe app to the DC Universe Infinite app, and because I do monthly, they only give you a $10 coupon. But I was actually thinking of getting that because it's a nice looking shirt. I mean, it's like you said. How could you not? It can't be anything other than the black suited Superman because the thing's black and white. But no, as a shirt, that's really sharp.
Yeah, it is a very nice shirt, and $25 is not bad price for a shirt.
No, not online.
Pretty standard, I would think. So yeah, that's available if you're interested in that t-shirt. Now, speaking of movie news and staying on that theme, there have been, as you know, lots of rumors about whether Henry Cavill will return as Superman. Some saying that he'd signed a deal to appear as Superman as a cameo in some upcoming DC movies. And there was speculation that it might be the sequel to Shazam. Well, Variety are saying that he will not appear as Superman in Shazam, even though we saw a body double playing Superman at the end of the first Shazam movie there as Superman. Henry Cavill speculated to maybe appear in the second film in that series. But according to Variety, that's not going to happen. But the director of the films is saying never say never. He said, David F. Sandberg, said he would not deny or confirm the report. He said, I'm not going to comment on casting rumors for several reasons. One being you can't be sure about anything until it's happened. Halfway through shooting Shazam, the plan was still for Cavill to be in it. Scoopers could have scooped that and been right at the time, but wrong in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where as it stands, maybe the schedule doesn't call for it, but weird things happen in Hollywood. I mean, productions are getting shut down all the time. For COVID, and and like there's a new Law and Order show because we haven't had one in a couple of years, and it just got shut down because of a positive COVID test. So I'd like to see it, but only because I'd really like DC to kind of get their act together. And Warner Brothers in terms of if we're going to have a universe, let's show it that it's a universe. I mean, if Chris Evans can show up for like 5 seconds in the Thor sequel, not even playing Captain America, he was playing Loki, making himself look like Captain America, but it was Chris Evans. You could plan something like this out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, indeed. And this Sandberg on Twitter then went on to say, my non-answers are just that, non-answers. I don't even bother with trying to debunk things anymore, no matter how untrue. So I guess it's still up in the air. We don't know what's happening. But if you're wondering when the next Shazam movie, which is called Shazam! Fury of the Gods, is expected to premiere, it is in June 2023. So 2 years away. 2.5 years away.
That's a long time away, especially in COVID times.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, it's still up in the air what's happening. I would like to see Henry Cavill return as Superman in some form or fashion, preferably in his own movie. I don't want Superman appearing as cameos I'm happy for him to appear in cameos, but the priority should be to appear in his own movie.
Yeah, I really... really think it's kind of too bad that they're not. It's like they're not. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, obviously, but it just seems like they're not trying.
Yeah, and there are a lot of moving parts at the moment with COVID. As you said, it's really hard to put anything in production and with any kind of certainty. You could come to Australia and shoot here. We're open for business, but and that has happened in the past. Superman Returns.
I was about to say you guys got a good looking metropolis there.
So anything is possible, but yeah, you're right. There doesn't seem to be any push for Superman within Warner Brothers that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad. But we'll push on and look to things that are positive, and there is a lot happening on the TV front with Superman. But before we get into what's happening with Superman on television, Warner Brothers Entertainment made the 50-minute featurette Long Live Superman available on YouTube earlier this week. It was originally released on the home video edition of the Death and Return of Superman animated movie, and was also shown during the DC Fandom online event. But the 50-minute featurette is now available to watch for free on YouTube, and here is a little bit of the intro to that.
There's a lot to be said about Action 1000. Just the number alone and the fact that it's the first superhero book to reach that number is a testament to the character's strength and endurance.
1,000 issues is actually very impressive when you think of perhaps 12 issues per year. That's a long run. That's a lot of people's fathers, grandfathers.
Very few people can even remember a time there wasn't a Superman. Unless you're over 90, there's no such thing as a world without Superman.
I think it just speaks to the wish fulfillment of superheroes, right? We wish that there was a character looking over us in the inner cities, that there was someone that could make things right, and that they almost existed outside the normal rules that we all had to live by, and they would always make the right decisions. Superman, because he was a character that fought for the ultimate good and against injustice, and the fact that he actually did come from another planet made him almost an impartial kind of judge, someone that could provide a perspective that wasn't tainted like the rest of us.
So there you have it. There's a bit of the... I was waiting for Jim Lee to shut up and stop talking so that I could find a gap there to...
Jesus, Jim, shut up!
to stop the video, but to put a pause in the break. But yeah, Long Live Superman, 50-minute featurette is available. And it's a little bit dated now with Dan Didio there and talking about Action Comics 1000, but all in all, a pretty good watch.
Just ignore the fact that I'm no longer with the company, and we're just going to pretend that everything's okay. No, I am of the opinion that Warner Brothers should just put every single featurette they've ever done for any of their DVD and Blu-ray releases, put it on YouTube. Because one, they're really cool to watch, but two, they can get some revenue out of that with advertising and such. So it doesn't make any sense to just have the stuff sitting there. I keep thinking I've seen this, but I don't remember. So I was gonna plunk down and actually watch it at some point. I saw that it's got a pretty good list of people that they're talking to. But though seeing the footage from the Death and Return of Superman, I kind of want to watch that again.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, if you want to watch it, it's on our website, the video. Just look for the Long Live Superman featurette title under the movie news section. So that's available to watch. All right, as I said, Superman may not be available on the movie side of things for us at the moment, but things are ramping up for Superman and Lois, CW's new TV series, which will premiere on February 23rd. And it's good news. It was originally decided to be a 13-episode run. They've already decided to extend that to 15 episodes. There was some confusion out there about whether it's already been renewed for a second season. The announcement about the extension to 15 episodes did come on the back of the CW announcing some Season 2 renewals of other shows, but I wouldn't look at that as a negative that this hasn't necessarily been a renewal for a second season because, I mean, let's face it hasn't even shown on TV yet, so that might be coming down the track, but they are ramping things up nicely for the Superman and Lois TV series.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the push for this. I'm seeing a lot of advertising on the social media sites. We got the new trailer that we're about to talk about. They're giving it, and there's other reasons they're doing it, but they are giving it a 2-hour premiere instead of a 1. And I don't know if you have this in the rundown, but I just saw on Twitter that they're going to show it on TNT the night after it premieres.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, not the night after. It's about 3 or 4 nights after.
Yeah.
But just Tina's saying, who are the 2 kids that Superman reveals himself to? They're his sons, his twin sons, Jordan and Jonathan, who were just in that image there that you saw. Yeah, so Lois and Lois and Clark have twin sons, and that's who they are. They're obviously growing up here in this. In the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, we saw at the end that she reveals that they have twin sons instead of just the one son that obviously Crisis affected the reality, and they gave them twin sons. So, they're not just random kids. There is 2 twin sons who are obviously teenagers at this point in the story. And you got to have that suspension of disbelief as to why they wouldn't guess or have any inclination that Superman and their dad looked very similar to each other, but especially considering that neither of them can shave and get a clean face. But it's a TV show about an alien who looks like a human being.
Yeah, it's something. Rachel and I were actually kind of talking about this yesterday because TNT was running like Man of Steel and Justice League and BVS, and I was watching Man of Steel because there was absolutely nothing else on, and man, she was picking apart things in Krypton. She said something, and it's actually a good point. We don't have a whole lot on the rundown tonight, so I can throw this in here. Wouldn't Lara have been put on some kind of trial as well in Man of Steel for having a natural child out of wedlock, out of their normal social norms? I mean, it seems like, Zod, created insurrection, which, in this country, is up or down, whether it's a bad thing, apparently. But she and Jor-El, like, stole the Codex and had a kid, and you're not supposed to do that. So why is she not getting sent to the Phantom Zone as well? I mean, I know it's because that's how the movie had to go, but still.
There's some comments in the comments there. People asking about, talking about whether or not, as teens, Clark's boys, whether they do have powers or not. We don't know if one or both or either of them will have powers at this point in the show. Let's say they do. Let's say even one of them does or both of them do. In some tellings of the Superman story, Clark grew up as a normal kid. He didn't know that he had powers until he started reaching puberty, and so his powers started developing at that point in time. So he had no idea as a teenager that he was different to anybody else. So it's very reasonable to assume that these boys have no inclination that there may be something different about them. So there's no reason to assume that they would have any idea that things might be about to change for them. Yeah,
I mean, and also they're part human, so
exactly. So we don't know.
It's not a given that they would have powers. I mean, they've explored this in the comics. I think one of the best explorations was in the Generations series that John Byrne did. But yeah, it's them not knowing is a good conceit for the series. It gives a good dramatic hook to the pilot, because it not only are they moving back to Smallville, but they're learning all these other things. And that shot in the pilot where he's yelling at both of them, I like the fact that he's mad at Lois too, because Lois kept the secret just as much as Clark did. So and teenagers are moody, y'all.
Yep, indeed. And so let's wait and see how it pans out and what their reaction is, and how, if they do accept it. But there were 2 TV spots released online by the CW18 Milwaukee Twitter account, which were quite cool. Let's have a look at those right now. The first one is called "The World Will Always Need Superman."
The world will always need Superman. Right now, this family needs you more.
Dad! So that's a quick TV spot there with Lois's voiceover. The world will always need Superman. Right now, his family needs him more. And I saw some discussion on social media about, is that selfish on Lois's behalf? You know, she's always known that Superman belongs to the world and that, you know, he has a responsibility. But what is she asking him here?
Yeah, this is one of those things where how human do you want to treat Superman? Because, you know, if you look at, especially like pre-crisis, you know, Superman in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, you know, he could never really have a family. He could never have a normal life. They played around with it a little bit, but he belonged to the world. And he felt very responsible for that. And that's an interesting take on the character. And I think also that's kind of, even though he was with Lois, that's sort of how the Cavill Superman was treated. You know, he's got a responsibility to the larger world, and having a normal life just may not be in the cards for him. This Superman chose to have a normal life. And what does that mean? Does that mean that Lois and them might be being selfish? I don't think so, because I like a more human Superman, though. So that's just kind of where my wheelhouse is. But yeah, it's such a great hook for a series, because it's not will they or won't they get together? They're already together. Now he's a father and Superman. What does that mean? And a husband.
Exactly. And it's always been an issue with Superman. It's the whole reason he has a secret identity, is because he feels like he needs to protect his family. So he's always felt, and his loved ones, he's always felt that responsibility towards the people that he loves. And he's always saving Lois and Jimmy and Perry. And so he always is putting his family and friends before the rest of the world, because he's saving them more often than he's saving anyone here in Australia or New Zealand or in Africa. He's there in Metropolis. So it's just part of who he is. He can't be everywhere at once. So he has to prioritize. And his family would definitely become a priority for him, because he has been brought up to be human.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and yeah, people still asking questions about the kids and whether they'll have powers or not. Watch the show. We'll find out. It will all make sense in the end, we hope.
To call back to Hooga Man, all will be revealed.
Exactly, 100%.
Now we owe him money.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I have to find that noise for the,
for the cash register noise.
Here it is.
Oh, the days.
There you go. It just played.
Oh, man. Those were the days.
Anthony asking, how would we feel if Rain's daughter would become the new Supergirl if the CW decided to continue on with the Supergirl TV show? I don't think that will happen. I don't think that there would be enough popularity of that character for it to for it to continue that way. Supergirl will end up running for 6 seasons? I think
this will be the 6th season.
That's a pretty good run. It doesn't have to go on indefinitely.
Yeah, it's a healthy run. I mean, it beat Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
It beat The Adventures of Superman. It beat Superboy. No one's going to beat Smallville. I don't think we're ever going to have a 10-season Superman show again. I just don't think that's going to happen. But for what it did, and we could get into the discussion of whether or not it focused on Supergirl enough, and did it focus too much on the side characters, and et cetera, et cetera. There's a healthy conversation to be had there. But man, 6 seasons is really impressive in this day and age.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't necessarily see that there would be a need or a push for that to happen, Anthony. That's just our opinion. All right, the other TV spot I will play for you right now. Let's check out that one that was also posted online. You're saying you're Superman. This is his sons talking about the revelation from Clark that he is the Man of Steel.
You think Dad's hiding something from us? You're saying you're Superman?
So there you have it. That was the other TV spot with the sons seeing Clark lift the family truck up into the air.
Yeah, to answer Bobby's question, yeah, Kara had powers when she was, pretty much from the time she was on Earth. So she kind of had a similar upbringing, it seems, to the Clark of this world. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So different. And again, with the Sons, they're half. So we don't know what that means for them. So we can't use either Supergirl or Superman as a reference point for what their power development might be, or if they have any powers at all. All right, then the big one was the season promo. New trailer for Superman and Lois was released online earlier this week, and it used the song All Right Now. Let's have a look at a bit of that right now. Here is the new trailer.
Our dad told us all these stories about growing up here.
Tell you it sucks?
Actually, I think he kind of loved it.
We came here as a family.
Like, it's too dangerous for them to know.
It's more dangerous if they don't.
You're Superman? No, we've seen Superman before. We've seen him.
You told the boys you're Superman. Couldn't lie to them anymore. This is gonna keep my family together. Clark, it's gonna tear it apart.
So that's just a bit of the trailer, half of the trailer there. You can watch it in full at our website. It runs for a minute. But I'm going to go through some of the imagery that were... Actually, no, I don't have a lot of them ready, but we can have a look through the video. Just let me pull that up quickly. We can talk about some of the imagery seen here. Obviously, that's Lana Lang's daughter there that is with the boys in the Kent farm barn. We also see the revelation and the discussion between Lois and Superman and Lois and Clark as to whether or not they should be told. And some great imagery coming up that I didn't play was of Superman doing some of his super feats. This one here in particular was a pretty... Where is it? It's a pretty cool image. Not sure.
Anthony in the chat is mentioning that with the music they played before they kicked into All Right Now, it sounded a little like the Superman Williams theme. I kind of got the same feeling of it, which makes me wonder: are we going with a new theme? Because I really liked the one that Blake Neely came up for him. I thought it was a really solid Superman theme. But if they're going to bring up something new, I'm kind of all for that too. But it's just, there was a little bit of Superman the movie in there. But yeah, I mean, that looks cinematic. That does not look cheap. That does not look like a TV budget. They are really pulling out all the stops for this.
There's still people talking about the powers of these young boys, or if they have them, and talking about Superboy being a clone of half human, half Kryptonian. But he was engineered to be Superboy, or to be another Superman. He wasn't, just born. So there's a big difference there as well. Some more cool images of Superman doing his thing. Some heat vision. You would have appreciated the angry red eyes of anger.
No, they just look like heat vision. I mean, it doesn't unless he's using it to threaten somebody. There you go. That's a very Cavill-esque heat vision, though.
So you can watch the trailer in full at our website. The 90-minute pilot will air on Tuesday, February 23rd from 8 p.m. With the documentary special Superman and Lois: Legacy of Hope starting right after it at 9:30 p.m. And then, as you mentioned, I didn't have it on our list of things to talk about, but the encore presentation of Superman and Lois will take place on TNT 4 nights later on Saturday, February 27th at 9 p.m, followed by the same documentary special. So it's pretty cool that they are teaming up with another channel, obviously a partner channel and premiering or re-showing the premiere on TNT a couple of nights later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm super excited about that. Pun very much intended.
All right, we're going to take a quick break just over the halfway point of tonight's show, play some messages, and then come back on the flip side to do the fan favourite segment of our show, get into some comic book discussions, and do a This Week in History as well. We'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying WGBS TV Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by visiting patreon.com/Superman homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Oh, that outfit's adorable. It's perfect. I think it's time to have some fun at Burger King.
Yeah, that sounds great.
What are you watching?
Superman fighting Brainiac?
Could you turn it down?
Cool new Superman toys are now at Burger King. You can get one with every Kids Club meal.
Well, what have we here?
Whoa. Burger King Kids Club. Great food, cool stuff, kids only.
We're back on WGBS TV Live, where, as I said, we're going to get into the fan favourite segment of the show, and it was fitting that I played the Burger King ad right there, but here is our intro to the fan favourite segment. Alright, so the fan favourite segment of our show, our question last time around was, what is your favourite Superman fast food collectible? And sadly, we didn't have any responses. I'm surprised with this one. I thought this would be one that people would want to feature some of their collectibles that they've got over, you know, McDonald's and Burger King and Hardee's and those kind of places over the years. Do you have a favourite looking back or thinking back?
There was in like 1988, Burger King had a thing you could get where it was superpowers related. And they had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Darkseid cups.
Okay.
So it was basically the character standing there holding the cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I never got any of them. We tried. I never got a Superman. I got like 3 Darkseids. It was really disappointing, but we didn't eat at Burger King all that much. I also really dug the Legion of Superheroes ones tied to the Superman and Legion of Superheroes animated series that McDonald's put out when that show was a thing. But I think the best, and it's not really a toy, but the Taco Bell glasses from Superman the movie, for Superman the movie.
They're all collectible now too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I had brought down some of the ones that I really impressed with. These are ones that were part of the Superman collectibles from McDonald's here in Australia. I think they might have been available there in the US as well. There was Clark and Superman and Lois, and then there's the Clark and Steel as well.
Ooh.
So they were 4 figures that you could collect. And the Burger King ones were always impressive to me. Here's the Clark Kent in the phone booth one, and then all you do is you click this. So if you click it really fast, there's Superman inside the phone booth. So that was an impressive one, as was the little balancing Superman on top of the Daily Planet that is like on a kind of spinning thing here. There's another one where it's on his chin. I think that was a Burger King one, but they're impressive little collectibles that some of these ones have been sitting on my shelf for a while now. So yeah, they're pretty cool. But yeah, the Clark one, Anthony says, Aphelion says he likes that one, and that's the obviously always with a shirt rip.
Yeah.
So that was the fan favorite question from last week. Our new question that we're hoping to get some responses from this week is, what is your favorite Superman cosplay costume? Let's see if it is one that necessarily you have worn yourself. That'd be good to see. But it could be one that you've come across and taken a photo with at a convention or at some kind of a fair or what have you, the Superman celebration even. Is there a cosplay Superman costume that you've seen that has impressed you? You can get involved with the fan favorite segment. Email us there on the bottom of your screen, info@supermanhomepage.com. Send us your photos of your favorite Superman cosplay costume that you've come across. So that's the fan favorite segment of our show. And I have a few that not personally, but that I've seen, that I've interviewed some of the people that were really impressive.
Yeah, I'll have a couple for the show as well next week. So that's a good one.
Yep, cool.
Come on, people, get involved in the show.
Yes, indeed. Fan favorite segment. It's for you. All right, let's do a This Week in History before we get into the comic book side of things. And we will also have a caller we can talk to on the comic book side of things as well. So let's get into the history section.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
All right, we are going back to 1941 for our first one. This is World's Best Comics #1. This was a forerunner to World's Finest Comics, and boy, did this have a lot of stories in it. My God, Superman, Red, White, and Blue, Crimson Avenger, Johnny Thunder. Well, who cares about Johnny Thunder? Young Doc Davis, Zatara, Drafty, King, Punch Parker. I mean, I've got lunchboxes with Punch Parker on it. Lando, Man of Magic, and Batman. Wow, that's a big book.
All for 15 cents.
Yeah, it was 96 pages. I'm sure there were kids back then that was like 15 cents. I can't afford that. No, it was the Depression. Jumping up to 1961, we have Superman #144, which has this great cover of Superman, Krypto, and Supergirl looking at the Earth as it explodes, and are like, okay, we'll go somewhere else. So 3 Superman stories in this: the Super Weapon, Superboy's first public appearance, and the Orphans of Space. We're jumping to 1971 for the next one. This is Superman #236. This is part of the Denny O'Neil run of the book, where a slightly depowered Superman is at the gates of hell. It's right there on the cover. This was a good one. I actually really liked this story. It has a good twist at the end, and there was a world of Krypton back up on this one, the Doomsayer.
Okay.
Jumping to 1991, we have The Adventures of Superboy, #15. This was the series that tied into the then syndicated series. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I steal time. So, that would have been timely, because I think it was like right around the time that song was a pretty big hit. So good on John Francis Moore for that one. Jumping to 2001, the first part of Return to Krypton, which was a 4-part story where it was hinted that maybe the post-crisis Superman's origin wasn't as we thought it was.
Which issue?
Steve, Superman number 167.
Yes, got it.
Steve will probably remember this as the time when we all acted like stinking crybabies over this story. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
This was a big thing, man. Online Superman fandom wigged out over this. So much point to a year later, they completely undid it. I mean, it was just like, okay, they're not ready yet. Well, we have to wait till 2004 to do that to them. And finally, comic book wise, Superman number 708 came out on February 9th, 2011. This was part of the Grounded storyline. This was an issue that was plotted by J. Michael Straczynski, but written by Chris Roberson. Who
really 10 years ago?
Yeah, that was 10 years ago, dude. Grounded is 10 years ago.
Wow.
It doesn't seem like it, does it? But, yeah, Chris Roberson came onto this story and really saved it when Straczynski bailed. So that that was 10 years ago. Real world type stuff on February 8th. If I can get my computer to cooperate. There we go. Not February 8th. Does that count? Yes, it does. Bruce Timm was born in 1961. Jack Larson was also born in 1928. And John Williams was born in 1932. On February 12th, the Superman radio series debuted in 1940. It also on February 12th in 2011, Joanne Siegel, wife of Jerry Siegel and the original model for Lois Lane, passed away at the age of 93. Sad way to end it. And that is This Week in History.
Anthony in the comments is asking, do you think that Silver Age issue inspired Lady Blaze and Lord Satanus?
Considering they came like much later, probably not. Yeah, they came. They were in. Yeah, Lord Satanus was early '80s, and Blaze didn't come about until the post-crisis era. That was like 1990 that she first made her appearance. So I mean, it's entirely possible, but I don't think so.
Exactly, me neither. All right, I'm going to try to get our friend Mark Lax on the line with us. He wants to come on and join us for the chat about comic books. Are you there, Mark? Mark, you there?
Yes. Hello.
How are you?
All right, I'm doing okay.
Excellent. Good to hear. We're going to get into the discussion about comic books, and let's have a look at what is available this week for Superman fans in the comic book world. Just going to grab the issues right here. We start with Future State Justice League number 2, which I think that might be the cover to issue number 1. Actually, that is the... Yeah, no, well, I'm not sure there. It says number 1 on the bottom, but I think it was number 2. And that's a variant cover to that as well. Also out this week is I didn't know it was that popular, but the second printing of Future State Kara Zor-El Superwoman number 1. That's out this week. Future State Kara Zor-El Superwoman number 2 is out this week as well, and that is available in this variant cover. Also out this week is Future State Superman Wonder Woman number 2, and that is also available in a variant cover. And then on the digital first publishing program side of things, the third issue of the Superman story in Truth and Justice number 6, and that is available to download as of February 12th. So you can check those comic books out this week, and we'll have our reviews up for all those Future State comics tomorrow.
Yeah, there was when I was watching Man of Steel yesterday, there was a commercial for Future State, like a straight up television commercial, and I'm like, you're pouring that much money into a 2-month storyline? Okay.
I should have had a Super Bowl ad, maybe.
So, Mark, are you reading any of these Future State comic books?
Yeah, I have only the main Superman ones. Superman in Metropolis. I read the first one and I didn't like it. So I didn't read the second one. I read the first issue of Worlds at War or whatever, and that was okay. But I mean, it wasn't. I mean, the whole issue was about Superman inspiring people and that they saved them and blah blah blah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's great. The art was good and all that, but we thought we were going to get him on War World, and we didn't really do that to the last 2 pages. But I'm interested to see how that ends. And Imperious Lex, I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed.
That was the better of some of the Future State comic books involving Superman characters. I have to say that the Supergirl, the Kara Zor-El one, has probably been the worst of the Future State comic books, and Adam's review of number 2, which will go up tomorrow, will reflect that as well. He was very, hugely disappointed by this story and the way it handles the character.
Yeah, I just had no interest in reading. Nothing against Supergirl or Superwoman, whatever. It's just. I don't know. I mean, I can't spend. I mean, these are expensive, So I figured if I'm going to read some, I'm just going to read the main Superman. I know they have the House of L coming up. That I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
But after that is all. What's his name? Philip Kennedy Johnson, I guess.
Yep.
His run starting. I'm interested in that. I like the idea, even though I'm not into death metal or whatever. I mean, I like the idea that the multiverse is open now. That anything. Kind of like anything goes, because then they can tell all sorts of different stories, and not have to stay, grounded to one continuity. And I mean, Michael's been saying all along it would be great at one point if you had one book that took place in in the Silver Age or Golden Age, or just told a different story, and then the other book had maybe something more in the continuity or something like that, but I don't know. I just like that. I like that idea. I mean, I know the Superman or the Batman Superman book with Gene Luen Yang is doing some kind of Golden Age thing, and that looks really good. So, I have my hopes are up a little bit, not that much, but a little bit.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, the Gene Luen Yang Batman Superman Future State book has been another positive in the Future State titles. But the House of L one, I know you were looking forward to, Michael. You were thinking of definitely picking that one up.
Yeah, I have the first issue of the War World story. I gotta tell you, after reading the first issue of the Superman in Metropolis, I was just like, it was a real disappointment because it just felt like a New 52 book.
Yeah,
I mean, it literally felt like an issue of the Superman book from New 52. And so, but after hearing that Imperious Lex was pretty good, I may pick that up. This is a great thing about books being digital, is that I don't have to worry about missing an issue at the comic shop. If I want to read something, I can just literally at any point pull it out, or I can wait 6 months and read it on the app. So you got that too.
Yeah, I was going to say, need be, you could wait the 6 months and read it on DC Infinite or whatever. So.
Yeah, and Mind the Gap in the comments saying doesn't buy the fact that they're free of continuity. If they were, any rational team would retcon Bendis' changes. Well, the Future the Future State comics are pretty much free of continuity because they are jumping around in a timeline and are pretty much anywhere, playing with freely with what's going on. But I guess the books from next month onwards will continue on with Bendis' timeline, with maybe a few tweaks based on the fact that continuity can change, but he's still keeping the secret identity part of things out there, as there is no secret identity anymore, which he doesn't mind. But personally, I would like to see that change.
Yeah, it's just that there's a little bit more open now. I mean, yeah, they are going to obviously stick to that continuity for now, but it's a little more open. They can do more things. So who knows? I mean, that would, if they really want to put that back in the bottle, that's going to take a while. I don't know what the Frontier or Infinite Frontier is going to do, but well, we'll see in the coming months. That's all you can say.
Michael, you were posting on your social media account about Infinite Frontier. Was it just the artwork that you were impressed with, or was
something? It's basically Jamal Eigel's artwork. A couple months ago, he made some kind of cryptic. Jamal Eigel made some kind of cryptic notion that, like, well, maybe I'm going to be returning to Superman, and I'm like, if you return to Superman, I will promote the crap out of that on my social media. So that was me kind of keeping my word, but also it looked really good. I'm looking forward to the DC Universe Infinite #0, and I'm going to be picking up Superman in action for a couple months just to see how it is. I'm more excited for the Batman Superman book. In all honesty, it looks so good.
It's promising times coming up for the books from March onwards.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's looking better. We'll say that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mark, for calling in. Always good to hear from you. Appreciate you being part of the show tonight, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks. Mark. Bye-bye. That was Mark Lax calling in to be part of tonight's show. Well, we're pretty much at the end of tonight's program. So before we wrap up, is there anything you wanted to leave us with, Michael? Anything that you wanted to touch on?
I'm just really excited that people on social media, with few exceptions, are just really excited about Superman right now. I mean, between Superman and Lois coming on the CW and Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, or Zack Snyder's Justice League, if you look at any of the advertising for the for the movie, it just seems to be like one of those. We've got a new Superman on television. We're going to see a different version of the Superman from the Justice League film, and we've got a new era in the comics coming up. I mean, this is one of those exciting times that we get like every couple of years that inevitably lead to disappointment. But I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen this time.
Indeed. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. I'd like to thank everyone for watching tonight's episode of WGBS TV Live. And once again, thanks to all those who called in or were part of the show. Thanks to Mark, who called in, and everyone in the YouTube comments for your participation. And a big thank you to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, or you might like to become a Superman homepage YouTube member. All you have to do is click the join button below. Now, the complete 1-hour video of tonight's show will remain available on our website and our YouTube channel. You can, if you tuned in late or missed part of the show, you'll be able to watch it in full at either of those locations. We will be back next week on Monday, February 15th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. Look forward to talking to you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Bye.